Okay, let's present this. So our next set of notes is about the 6 transportation subsystems. So our first unit in this systems design unit is transportation systems. And so we're going to learn about all the different parts to a transportation system in this note session. So what you're going to do is open up your Google slide that is or has all the notes that you're going to type into or drag and drop or whatever I ask you guys to do. And follow along and pause this video as needed. So to get started, we have to figure out what is a system and what is a subsystem. So a system is a group of things working together, and a subsystem is a smaller part of a system. So a subsystem is all the little parts that make up the entire system. And so you can pause the video, go over and type that in. And the purpose of a transportation system, the definition, is to move people and goods from one location to another using a variety of vehicles and devices. So there's all different modes and types of transportation, and they are all used to do the same thing, which is to either move people or goods from one place to another. And we have 4 modes of transportation that we are going to look at. So we have air, we have land, we have water, and we have space. So these are the 4 ways that you can travel and the 4 types of transportation. And the 6 subsystems. So again, guys, you're going to pause and then go back to your notes and type this in. So the first is structure. 2 is suspension. 3 is control. 4 is guidance. 5 is propulsion, and 6 is support. So go on over to your notes, pause this video, and type those in. And we're going to look at each of them one by one. And so starting with structure. So the definition for structure is interconnected supports to hold a weight. So it's the support that's actually going to hold the weight. And our examples would be like a car frame, the hull of a boat, the bike frame, and the airplane body. So this is the actual frame of the transportation system that's going to hold or support the weight of either the passengers or the goods. If you didn't have a car frame and it was just a bunch of metal with nothing underneath it, that car would be very flimsy. It wouldn't be able to hold the weight. It probably wouldn't be able to drive very fast either. Okay, so the next one is suspension. So again, you're going to pause, you're going to go over, you're going to type this in. Suspension connects the system to the environment and minimizes vibrations. So suspension is what's actually holding the vehicle up. It's connecting it to the environment. That's what's important, because we have to see that if it is suspension, we're talking about the tires on the road. So the tire is being connected to its environment, which is the road. The wings in the air on an airplane, so the wings are connected to the environment, which is the air, and the hull of a boat is being connected to the water. Again, hull was also part of structure. So if I tell you guys, hey, you're looking for the suspension of a boat, it is also the hull, because it's what's actually connecting it to the environment, which is that water, lake, ocean, pond, whatever the boat is actually in. And then the wheels on like a train track would also be suspension, because they're what's connecting the train to the environment, which would be the tracks. The next subsystem that we have is control. Control allows the vehicle to move in certain directions or stop. And so, for example, we have brakes, we have a steering wheel of a car, we have the handlebars, and the boat rudder. So it's anything that's going to turn and allow the vehicle to change direction, or it's going to either help speed up or slow down the device. So like the brakes and the gas pedal, the steering wheel, the handlebars, the boat rudder, all of those things are part of control. Guidance. We need guidance to provide assistance in staying on course. So we use things like compasses, headlights. If we didn't have headlights, we wouldn't be able to see where we're going at night. Turn signals to let us know which way we are turning to stay on course. The GPS and maps also help us stay on course, so those would be guidance. And the next one is propulsion. The propulsion subsystem uses force to move the vehicle. And our examples would be the propeller on an airplane, the gears on a bike, the jet engine, and the car transmission or engine. So all of these things are going to either propel or kind of push the vehicle forward. So it's going to use the force of the vehicle to move it, I guess, either forward or backward. And so it's anytime you see like an engine or the jet engine or the gears on a bike or the gears on anything, or a propeller on an airplane, that would be propulsion because it's going to propel or move something forward. Support would be like any system that is aiding, any item that is aiding the system. So it's nothing that is directly a part of the system, but it does aid the system in certain ways. So if we take out support, you can't use the transportation system. It's not directly a part of the system. It's not like the wings on an airplane or the airplane cabin or the propulsion, the propeller. It's actually a part that's not attached, but we do need it to get from one place to another, because again, that's the whole point of a transportation system. And so the items that aid the system would be like air traffic control. So you need air traffic control to get the plane from one place to another safely. Traffic lanes and roads, traffic laws, anything that keeps us on course, that helps to aid the system. If we didn't have traffic laws, we didn't have roads that were marked, there would probably be a lot of accidents. Stoplights, any street signs, those kinds of things are not actually attached to the transportation system, but we need those things to get safely from one place to another. And then like a train terminal, again, if there were no train terminal, probably wouldn't be able to get people on or off or goods from one place to another. So that would also be an example of support. So now what I want you guys to do is I want you to try to quiz yourself, and I want you to drag and drop the examples that are around the box into the matching term below. So structure, suspension, control, guidance, propulsion, support. And try to go back in the notes if you need to and pause the video and drag and drop all the pieces that you have. I'll give you a minute to pause and do that. Okay, and now that you did that, let's take a look. Here are all the answers. So now you can go back, make sure that you have everything in the right spot, because these are your notes, so you want to make sure that everything is correct. So again, examples of structure would be like a car frame, an airplane cabin, or a bike frame. That's what's actually holding the weight of the vehicle. The suspension, again, is what's connecting it to the environment. So that would be like the tires, the airplane wing, the wheels on a track, the boat hull. Control is what's going to either be speeding something up, slowing something down, having something turn, changing direction. That would be the steering wheel, the brakes, and the handlebars on like a bike. Guidance is anything to help keep it on course. And so that would be like headlights, a GPS system, turn signals. Propulsion is what's actually going to push or use force to move the vehicle forward or backward. And so that would be like a car engine, bike, gears, or a propeller. And then support is anything that's not connected to the actual device itself, but it helps to aid the device from getting from one place to another. And so that would be like a stop sign or traffic laws. All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to try to label this picture. So this is a picture of a person on a bike, and I want you to try to drag and drop all the different subsystems onto this one system. Okay, so pause the video. You guys can go ahead and do that. Okay, and so now that you have labeled it, you can compare to the answer that I have here. So guidance would be the person is going to keep the bike on course. Control would be like the handlebars, right? Because they're going to either steer or change direction. The structure would be like the bike frame. That's what's actually going to hold the weight of the vehicle. Propulsion is like the bike gears. That's what's actually going to push the bike forward. Suspension would be the tires, because that's what's actually connected to the environment. They're connected to the ground. And then obviously the support would be the road that the bike is on, because if there were no road, the bike would not go anywhere. And so the whole purpose of this is to understand that if any part of the subsystems within this system are taken away or not there, the system will not work. And so that's what we're going to be looking at for the next couple of weeks. But we're starting with transportation system. If you're not understanding this, I would suggest that you guys either pause this video, rewind, rewatch, kind of go through your notes again, and kind of take a look at different examples. All right, good luck.